I called my wife Petty for not letting me back in the delivery room. My wife Angela was in labor for 6 hours when the nurse asked if I wanted anything from the cafeteria. I said, yeah, actually, I was starving. I hadn't eaten since breakfast, and it was almost 8 at night. Angela squeezed my hand and told me to grab her some ice chips on the way back. I went downstairs, got a sandwich and a coffee, and checked my phone while I ate. My buddy Troy had texted asking how things were going. I sent him a quick update. Then my brother sent a meme. I responded. Before I knew it, 25 minutes had passed. When I got back upstairs with the ice chips, the nurse stopped me outside the door. She said Angela had requested I not be allowed back in. I literally laughed. I thought she was joking. The nurse wasn't smiling. She said Angela was serious and that I needed to wait in the family area. I pushed past her and opened the door anyway. Angela was on the bed, her mom holding one hand and her sister holding the other. They both glared at me. Angela looked at me and said, "Get out." I asked what the hell was going on. She said I'd been gone almost half an hour during the hardest contractions she'd ever had, and she told me that if I couldn't be there when she needed me, I didn't need to be there at all. I told her I was gone for 20 minutes max, and that I was getting food like the nurse suggested. Her mom cut in and said I'd been gone 27 minutes and that Angela had been crying for me. I said 27 minutes wasn't that long, and that I was literally just eating. Angela's sister told me to leave before they called security. I looked at Angela and said she was being ridiculous. She said nothing. Her mom stood up and physically walked toward me like she was going to shove me out. I stepped back into the hallway and the door closed. I sat in the waiting room for 2 hours. I tried texting Angela. Nothing. I tried calling. Straight to voicemail. Her sister finally came out and told me I had a daughter. 7 pounds, 4 ounces. Healthy. Then she walked away. Another hour passed before a different nurse came and said I could come meet the baby. When I walked in, Angela was holding her. Her mom and sister were gone. I walked up to the bed and Angela turned the baby away from me slightly. I asked if I could hold her. Angela said no. I asked why not. She said because I wasn't there when it mattered. I snapped. I told her she was being petty. I said I missed 20 minutes of labor, not the whole birth, and that she was punishing me for getting food. She stared at me and said I missed the moment she needed me most and that she'd never forget it. I said that was dramatic and that she was holding a grudge over nothing. She handed the baby to the nurse and told me to leave again. I refused. I said I wasn't leaving my daughter. The nurse looked uncomfortable and said maybe I should step out for a few minutes. Angela said I could step out for the rest of the night. I ended up sleeping in my car in the hospital parking lot. At 6 in the morning, her sister texted and said I could come back in. When I got to the room, Angela's mom was packing up her stuff. Angela wouldn't look at me. I finally got to hold my daughter for the first time, and Angela just stared out the window the whole time. We drove home in silence the next day. Her mom came with us and stayed for a week. Angela barely spoke to me unless it was about the baby. When her mom finally left, I thought things would get better. They didn't. 2 weeks later, I asked Angela when she was going to let this go. She said, "Let what go?" I said the whole delivery room thing. She looked at me and said she wasn't holding a grudge. She just finally saw who I really was. I told her that was unfair. She said leaving her alone during the hardest moment of her life to scroll on my phone and eat a sandwich was unfair. I checked my phone records later just to prove I wasn't gone that long. 27 minutes. I showed her. She said that was 27 minutes she was screaming for me and I wasn't there. I said I didn't know it was that serious. She said that was the problem. I didn't think it was serious. She did. And now every time she thinks about our daughter's birth, she'll remember that I chose a sandwich over being there for her.